On April 10th, 2018, Donald tweeted, "Me. So, Karl Marx, that's basically what the world is like in 2018. What's your analysis of the situation? Is capitalism still doomed? Karl Marx. Holy shit, you went to the moon? Me. Does communism still have a future? Karl Marx. The moon in the fucking sky? This is the Museum of Twitter, the show where I talk about the most important tweets in the history of Twitter.com. It's Subscriber Sunday, where my Patreon subscribers get to nominate and then vote on which tweet I cover. And for this Easter Sunday, they chose this tweet. A tweet that imagines the tweeter, Donald, asking Karl Marx what his opinion is on the state of the world. And rather than give his well-reasoned opinion on what the state of the world is, he's distracted. Because presumably in summing up everything that happened since Karl Marx died, Donald mentioned that we went to the moon. And after that, presumably Marx stopped listening to what he was saying. And was just thinking, wait, he can't be serious. He can't be talking about that moon, the moon in the sky. But no, that's what he's talking about. Now, this tweet is first and foremost a joke. When I was doing research on it, I saw a lot of people taking it seriously and being annoying about it. Like a deleted Reddit account responded to when someone posted it there saying, "I'm sorry, but this tweet is whack. Karl Marx wouldn't care about the accomplishments. He would care about the conditions under which the accomplishments were made. Sure, going to the moon is great, and so are cell phones. But the fact that all of those are made in a system where the people who put in the actual work to make and design those accomplishments are only getting a fraction of the pay they deserve." And Blade of the Sun tweeted, continued, "Karl Marx, you went to the moon in the sky 60 years ago, but you still have 2.2 million people in the streets, and the richest man could house them all himself and still have billions? Karl Marx. Exactly the kind of shit I expected." In case you can't tell by the extremely mocking tone in which I'm reading these tweets, I think these people are lame and need to get a sense of humor. I don't even think that they're wrong, necessarily. Like, I think that Blade of the Sun's actual point, that we spent all the money to go to the moon, but we still have people who are homeless, I think that is something that Marx could have predicted. But, and not to put too fine a point on it, if you think that the purpose of Donald's tweet was to seriously interrogate what Karl Marx would say if he encountered the world today, you are no fun, and perhaps you should reflect on how your not funness affects people wanting to listen to you. And the reason why I find internet communists taking this seriously so annoying is because I don't think the joke is specific to Marx at all. I think Marx was chosen because he's someone who a lot of people are like, he would say this about today's situation. I think the point that Donald is making, such as he's making a point, it's mostly a joke, is that there are so many exogenous factors in history that people can't predict, and trying to predict what someone who died over 150 years ago would say about today is kind of silly. That's not to say it's silly to apply their principles to today, but I think what Donald's tweet highlights is that it is deeply silly to, instead of saying, "I viewed this through a Marxist lens," to say, "If Marx was here today, this is what he would say." You can imagine that he would write screeds about everything going on in the capitalist class, but the world is so much different than when he lived. Maybe he would get obsessed with basketball or something. And I also think part of the tweet's power is that it is kind of crazy that we went to the moon. I'm sure there are going to be people in the comments saying we didn't go to the moon, but we went to the moon. And it's really insane how quickly we went to the moon. Like, Marx died in 1883. The internal combustion engine had not yet been invented. And so to say to him that we had not only invented self-propelling vehicles, we had not only invented rockets, we had not only been to space, but we'd actually been to the moon in less than 90 years after he died, that would be insane. I saw some people in the comments saying like, well, there was ideas of space travel in the 1800s, so he wouldn't be that surprised. This is actually a rare topic that I have actually some specific academic knowledge about, because I took a class in college about the history of space travel and space and culture. And yes, in the 1800s, people had written stories about us exploring the cosmos. But today, we write stories about traveling through black holes to explore the other side of the cosmos, and I don't think that anyone would say today that they expect us to be able to do that in 90 years. So anyway, I've taken this way too seriously, mostly just because I got annoyed by other people taking it seriously. But I think it's a great joke, and I think it is a great reminder, like, hey, let's not assume what people would say. The world is really crazy today. And I think I enjoy is that the moon in the fucking sky has become kind of a way of pointing this phenomenon out. Like when Bridget Gabriel said, "What would the founding fathers say about the price of eggs today?" Jesus Nice's burner account says, "Wait, you went to the moon? The moon in the fucking sky? That moon?" Also, what would the founding fathers say about the price of eggs? They'd be like, "Why don't you all just have your own chickens?" And depending on which founding father you ask, they'd be like, "Wait, is that my face on the money?" And if you ask Ben Franklin, he wouldn't answer you because he'd be busy buying feet pics. When Dianetical Materialist posted a photo of Lenin and said, "Give him a month to catch up on history and he would be unstoppable," Yurika Saw Dare Fall Over quoted that and said, "Lenin, for about 1 week. You went to the moon? Sky?" When Kelsey Reichman says, "Did the founders contemplate autopens when creating the pardon power? Absolutely can't wait to hear your thoughts." Kelsey Atherton, another Kelsey, responded with the screenshot of Donald's tweet. And recently, when an executive at Universal Studios said that Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey will be a cinematic masterpiece that Homer himself would quite likely be proud of, Joe Miadanaran said, "Christopher Nolan, so that's The Odyssey in movie form. What do you think?" Homer, "You guys went to the moon?" Christopher Nolan, "I really wanted to stay as true to your adaptation as I could." Homer, "The moon in the freaking sky?" In some ways, I think that Homer actually might be more understanding of what's going on. Because when we're talking like thousands and thousands of years, I think we all accept that we'll have really no concept of what the world will look like. Like, if you ask me what the world's going to be like in 5,000 years, I genuinely have no frame of reference of what it could be. Like, if you were to tell me that we were creating our own wormholes to go to the other side of the universe and there are aliens we interact with, I'd be like, sure. Anyway, I think the main reason this tweet is funny and popular is because it is taking literally a thing that people often just say rhetorically. Obviously, when most people say, say, if Marx was here, he would say this. They don't literally mean that he was there. And like so many great bits of comedy, Donald is taking it literally. That's not to mean he's making a serious judgment of people who mean it metaphorically, just that it is very funny to imagine it literally. It's kind of like the classic joke of answering the question, if you could have dinner with someone dead or alive, who would you choose? With, alive please. Follow me for a new tweet every day, and if you want to vote on what I do on Subscriber Sundays, please join my Patreon, patreon.com/museum of Twitter. In addition to that, having access to my Discord, you'll also get the weekly Museum of Not Twitter.